The fork paused halfway to my mouth when she tugged my sleeve. Small fingers, urgent. "Daddy, come to my room now." I followed. I always followed. She closed the door like she'd practiced it, locked it. Then she lifted her shirt just enough to show me the bruises I hadn't earned the right to imagine. Her voice was steady in the way children get when fear has become routine. "Don't tell Mom. Grandma said she'll make it worse." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I memorized. I took out my phone and walked back to dinner. I sat down, smiled, asked for the salt. That was the moment something in me went quiet and cold and permanent. Betrayal doesn't announce itself. It waits for you to trust the room you're standing in. My mother-in-law had lived in our lives like furniture, always there, heavy, unquestioned. She called herself the keeper of tradition, the disciplinarian, the necessary evil. My wife believed her. I let myself believe my wife. That's how betrayal survives. It borrows your love. I'd handed my daughter into that house with birthday gifts and sleepover bags. I'd thanked the woman who taught her to fear silence. Every Sunday dinner, every forced smile, every time I looked away because family is supposed to be safe, I replayed the signs I dismissed. Nightmares explained away, long sleeves in summer, the way my daughter flinched when the doorbell rang, how she stopped asking to stay over and started apologizing for things she hadn't done. Pain is loud. Understanding is lethal. I didn't confront anyone that night. I planned. At 2:17 a.m., I called a lawyer I'd once helped quietly through a merger no one remembers. He answered on the second ring. I told him only what mattered. He didn't ask me to repeat myself. By morning, there were instructions, precise, surgical. I installed cameras, legal ones, visible ones, then invisible redundancies because predators adapt when they think they're watched. I documented everything, dates, times, statements recorded without coercion, guided by professionals who knew how to listen to a child without breaking her. I moved assets, not to hide, never to hide, but to prepare. Trusts, escrows, paper trails that didn't scream panic, the kind that whisper inevitability. I scheduled therapy and told my daughter one thing every day exactly once: you did nothing wrong. She believed me faster than I believed myself. The execution was never going to be loud. Loud is mercy. I waited for the next family gathering. Let routine be the rope. I let my mother-in-law perform, smile, preach. I watched her correct my daughter's posture with a hand that lingered too long. I stood, excused myself, asked my wife to check her phone. 42 missed calls would come later. That was the aftermath. This was the incision. 3 men in black suits knocked on my mother-in-law's door 2 days later. Not police, not yet. Court-appointed investigators with folders thick enough to bend spines. Subpoenas, protective orders, immediate removal of access, emergency custody rulings signed before lunch. She tried to laugh. Then she tried to scream. Then she tried to pray. I'd already accounted for all 3. My wife called me 42 times. I answered on the 43rd. I didn't accuse. I didn't explain. I forwarded documents, video timestamps, professional assessments, the kind of truth that doesn't argue back. Her voice broke where denial used to live. She asked me why I hadn't told her first. Because you were taught to protect the wrong people. Because love makes accomplices out of witnesses. Because I needed this clean. I didn't say any of that. I said, our daughter is safe. Silence agreed. There was a meeting. There's always a meeting when power realizes it misread the room. My mother-in-law's community closed ranks, then cracked. Her reputation folded under evidence, the kind that doesn't care who hosted Thanksgiving. Restraining orders turned into indictments. Friends turned into affidavits. I watched from a distance. Distance is a gift you earn. Someone asked me if I felt satisfied. Satisfaction is a childish word. I felt resolved. Weeks later, in a different building, a different table, a man in a tailored suit leaned toward me and hissed, "You're outdated. We're done here." I replied quietly, "Understood." That was the moment the retirement trust activated its voting rights. By Monday morning, the board convened an emergency meeting. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? Justice likes symmetry. So do I. My daughter sleeps through the night now. She leaves her door open. She sings when she brushes her teeth. Fear has an expiration date when adults do their jobs. I don't rage. I don't boast. I don't forgive. I protect. I document. I end things. Betrayal taught me that monsters don't hide in shadows. They sit at tables and ask to be passed the salt. I pass nothing anymore. I take. I secure. I close doors.